Don Burrows was a great mentor to James and yourself when you were coming through, and you've also done a lot of work with school children. Can you talk to me a bit about that mentoring process?
I decided to make it a prerequisite if someone wants to come and study with me that they have a student of their own. But the experience then is that they come in for a lesson, and for the first 15 minutes we talk about their student. And I say to them, you know, how are you motivating them? What are they listening to? And they say, oh, well, their posture's better and they're practicing a bit more. And so you have this teacher-to-teacher relationship. And then after 15 minutes, you switch to teacher-student. And they get it. You know what I mean? They get it. They see how this works. And actually, from teaching, them having to mentor, understand the process, it really develops their playing. And in turn, I learn from it. It was very easy for me to connect with the drums. I like the drums as an instrument. They're a gadget. There's all these fantastic moving parts, and I liked the way they were put together. It was like the drums chose me rather than me choosing them. I actually met a chap one day who came up to me on a gig, and he'd flown Spitfires and Hurricanes in the Second World War in England, an Australian fellow, and he was in his late 60s at the time, early 70s, and he came up and he said, you and I have something in common. And I said, what's that? And he said, well, my father was a minister and I play the drums and I fly. And he said, I've come to meet you because when I came back from the war, I was playing drums in a big band in England, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to be a pilot or a player. And he said, I chose the flying career. And he said, and I know you've chosen the other way. I said, well, we have got some things to talk about. And we sat down, he talked about his life and love and live and regrets and everything else about his life, which was really interesting. Neither of us have any regrets, you know, and I mean, I'm half his age, but, you know, we're still very close. So we're playing this Italian, we're in the central Italy, playing this little Italian club, and it was a small jazz community, you know. So they've heard that there's an Australian jazz band coming, you know. So that's like saying a Sri Lankan country and western band, you know, like it doesn't quite fit, you know. Do they have jazz down there? So we go into the room and there's only 6 people there, you know. Oh, that's okay, let's play. So, you know, James picks up the trumpet, wow, it goes like crazy. So he plays a couple of numbers and the 6 people get up and they go back down the back of the room. And I thought, that's strange. Well, they don't dig it, you know, we're playing really well. And then I saw what they were doing. I'm looking through the lights, and one by one, they're taking turns. There's a public phone there before mobiles. They're holding the phone up like this, and they're ringing people and holding the phone up, one after the other. They all lined up. The second set, the place was packed. We did a number of trips to New Guinea in the aeroplane, taking the band up through Madang and Lae. Wow. And a cyclone had moved off the coast of Australia and was out towards the Fijian Islands, and so we were okay, we could go, but the way the cyclone rotates, we'd have a tailwind on our way up there, but we knew that once we got there we wouldn't have the fuel to come home, so everything had to be right. So we'd done all the numbers. We're left VHF radio coverage of Australia, and coming into Moresby, tried to radio them in, nothing, just silence. And I thought, this is exciting. The rain was quite heavy, and it was summertime, so the weather's quite vicious up there. Interesting experience. It was early days of satellite navigation, and I said to James, we're going to be relying on this thing today. So we set up the GPS and went right through everything over and over again about the approach, and set ourselves up and basically did a blind approach into Moresby in unbelievable rain. And with rather minimum fuel left on the ground, we had to stop on the runway. The rain was too heavy to taxi. So basically got out of the plane, kissed the ground as you do, and put it in the logbook as a great experience. There's something you've been getting into. The Brazilians cook with bachata, cooking with rhythm. That's What's it called? New thing, bachata. Bachata. We add the little rhythm to the pepper and salt. Come check this out.
Please.
You'll dig this.
Show me the way, boss.
All right, here you go. Masterpiece, if I do say so myself. Ta-da!